Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Network 216 exclusive. I am Tyler Johnson. I am joined by one of the co-hosts of the Scarlet and Gray podcast, Mr. Jordan Dalton. JD, how are we doing, man?
Doing good. Ready to talk some football. It's about that time.
It's about that time, dude. It's been a while for sure, especially given the fact that Ohio State has had a long layoff, but we finally got some action this past weekend. So just to give everyone a little bit of an outlook on what we're going to be doing. So this Network 216 exclusive we're going to be hosting over the coming weeks leading up to the season. We're going to go through position group by position group for Ohio State, starting with the quarterback position, and just kind of we're going to give a preview of the position group, kind of where we see things stacking up as we get ready for the season. But guys, before we get into today's video, please be sure to drop a like on this video. What you're doing is you help that YouTube algorithm grow, which is very important for Network 216. But also, please be sure to subscribe if you are brand new to the content that Network 216 provides as we get you guys ready, not only for the Ohio State football season, but Cleveland Gardens baseball is going on. The Cavs are in the middle of the NBA playoffs, and the NFL draft is next week. So be sure you're not missing any of the action and subscribe to the channel. So, JD, Ohio State kicked off spring football on Saturday. It's always fun watching spring football, I'll admit, but at the same time, I think we can all agree it is a little boring because no one's hitting anybody. It's a glorified scrimmage. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ohio State has a conundrum at the quarterback position right now. And that conundrum is we do not have a starting quarterback. Ryan Day said he wanted to name a starting quarterback before, by the end of spring ball. And that has not happened to this point. That is quite an issue for Ohio State. It is between pretty much, I would say, two guys. And then we'll bring in potentially who could be the third. So first off, Kyle McCord. Nothing spectacular on Saturday. I mean, his numbers in 34 pass attempts, 184 yards and a touchdown, 37-yard touchdown to freshman wide receiver Carnell Tate, who has been, as many coaches have said, the breakout performer for spring ball as a freshman. I believe he was 17 and 34, so completion percentage not great. But overall, what are your thoughts on Kyle McCord? This is really a two-person race between Kyle McCord, between Devin Brown. What are your thoughts on Kyle McCord?
Yeah, I mean, you can't put too much stock into a spring game. Like you said, it's pretty much 75% go, no tackling. But you also have to think the defense knows what's coming. They've been practicing against this offense for a couple of weeks now, and they pretty much know the entire playbook inside and out. So I'm not gonna sit here and say we're in trouble at the quarterback position because he had a 50% completion rate in the spring game. But things I really liked from McCord in the spring game was he can sling it, man. He's got a really good arm. He just spins that ball like a pro. And I think just of the very brief glimpse we got, he was having issues reading the defense. Just and like he was making some throws that were like little, like a couple out routes here and there where he was throwing behind the receivers, and he didn't throw any interceptions, but there was quite a few passes that could have been intercepted. So I think we'll see him clean that up before the season. But I liked his chemistry with Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, they go back to their high school days, and he had quite a few completions to him in the early parts of the scrimmage. I think they were like, yeah, we already know what Marvin can do. We're going to pull him out, and they really just let McCord kind of run the offense. But I mean, he's got a great arm. He was a 5-star for a reason. Number 6 quarterback recruit coming out of high school for his class. So, I mean, he's good, and he's everything we want in a quarterback. So we just have to see him put it together. You know, he has very little experience playing on the field in college, and we kind of knew that coming, you know, from C.J. Stroud leaving for the draft, that we were going to have somebody fresh with very little experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Josh Perry, if you were able to, if anyone who was able to listen to the broadcast, Josh Perry pretty much said it. None of these guys are going to be CJ Stroud. Just not how it works. They're their own guy. Kyle McCord's a former 5-star quarterback for a reason. And I've saw way too many people on Twitter just like, Devin Brown's got to be the guy. Kyle McCord's not good. It's a glorified spring practice for one. Emeka Buka wasn't playing. Like, other guys from the offense were not playing. I will say, with Kyle McCord, the biggest issue, and it's not even Kyle McCord, this offensive line, it better very drastically improve by the time we get to the fall, or else we are in trouble on offense. Because we have all the talent in the world, but if you can't block anybody, problem. And then the other issue is, I think people need to understand here, the defense Kyle McCord went up against on Saturday, besides Michigan, chance that's the best defense he's going to see all year.
Yeah.
Just saying. So we're overreacting, especially with Kyle McCord, a guy who's going to be potentially a first-year starter here. But that brings in the question, JD, of Devin Brown. We haven't seen Devin Brown at all. So Devin Brown, to me, is a huge mystery in this. I know that he is more mobile, and so you wonder if that helps his case. But Kyle McCord also showed he can move in the pocket. And they talked about on the broadcast, when he was asked what he needs to improve the most, he said he improves everything. But it was developing a game outside of structure. And Kyle McCord was showing on Saturday that he can do that. So the question is, Kyle McCord and Devin Brown, we have no whatsoever on Devin Brown. We truly don't. We don't know what he can do, what he can't do. So right now, if we had to put a label on it, I think we would both agree Kyle McCord still is the favorite to be the Ohio State starting quarterback this season. Would you agree, disagree with that? And what are your thoughts on Devin Brown? Like, at this point, he has said he's not transferring. Neither is Kyle McCord. How do you think this ends up shaking out?
It's like you said, I think Kyle McCord has the leg up in the competition. Number one, he's got the year of experience over Devin Brown. But number two, Devin Brown's currently injured and can't throw a football. So he's actually having surgery on his pinky, on his throwing hand. So he didn't even play in the spring game. And I think that kind of hurts his case going forward to start the season. But we still have plenty of time before the season starts. And like both guys, number 6 quarterbacks in their class, in their respective classes, via 247 Sports rankings, but they both are different in what they excel in. And I think Kyle McCord's definitely got the better, stronger arm, but Devin Brown has been touted as a dual threat type quarterback. But like you said, we haven't seen either one of them really play. So it is a mystery. I will give a little bonus point for Devin Brown because he's wearing 33, and I think that's awesome. He's going super old school with the unconventional number. But yeah, I think Kyle McCord's got it right now. Just based off of those two facts that he's been there longer and Devin Brown's currently hurt.
Yeah, and the two other guys that we are going to mention, just because there are probably some other quarterbacks on the roster too. So if we don't mention them, it's not a shot at these guys. It's just we have not seen them. But anyway, Tristan Gebbia is the graduate transfer coming from Oregon State. There's not really much on him. I mean, he started 4 career games, but
senior.
Yeah, but I mean, like you talked about pre-show, pre-episode here, he is a 3-time captain. So the leadership factor, bringing that into the quarterback room is huge. I know he wants to be a coach after his playing career is over. Another reason he's at Ohio State. They're going to give him that opportunity, it sounds like, to be a graduate assistant once his playing career is over. But the guy, JD, I want to bring up here, and I brought him up here on Saturday. One Buckeye fan commented and said he has no chance of being involved in the quarterback competition. But some others also kind of agreed with me he does. The longer this goes on, JD, there's a freshman that's going to be arriving on campus, a four-star athlete. And when I mean athlete, he ran for over 1,000 yards, has thrown for over 4,000 yards, and has been a complete just absolute amazing player in high school. That's Lincoln Kienholz. And I'm not here to say that he's going to be Ohio State's starting quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. It takes a lot of time to learn an offense. It does, especially at this level and learning like Ohio State's offense. But the longer this goes on, it really makes you wonder if he can sneak into this competition. We don't have – Ryan Day, again, wanted a winner by the end. And that's not going to happen. Yeah. But when you bring in a quarterback that's thrown for 3,400 yards, 46 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 66.5 completion percentage, and ran for nearly 1,500 yards and another 24 touchdowns, you can't tell me that this guy's not going to factor in somewhat to the discussion. And that's where I'm at. Devin Brown's injured right now for at least a month. Kyle McCord didn't light it up. If this kid comes in fall ball and lights it up, who's to say that he's not going to have an opportunity to take some snaps this year? And I'm not saying he's going to start the entire season. Ohio State hasn't had a true freshman starter since Terrell Pryor, start as a freshman. I'm just saying, man, I think he's a dark horse. I really do. Just because we don't have a quarterback that's been named as a starter right now. What are your thoughts on the incoming freshman?
I think he's awesome. I think us going and stealing him from Washington was huge. And he's one of those kids. He's from South Dakota. Probably didn't get as much hype. I know like a lot of Ohio State fans were saying he's not as good as his stats because of his competition. But when he played in that, it was like the
Under Armour All-American game.
Yeah, he really showed out. He really played well, and
behind a bad offensive line, I might add. He was running for his life, and he got to play with Ohio State's wide receiver Brandon Inus in that game.
Yeah, and I mean, he looked really good, and he didn't look like he was, overhyped by any means. He looked like he belonged on that field with the rest of those, top 100 players that were playing in that game, and so to say that he doesn't have a shot at winning it, especially with it being such an unknown question mark for the offense going into the season, it's kind of ignorant. But and we don't really, and I think there's going to be a lot of ground he's going to have to cover with the offense and learning it. And Kyle McCord's already known the offense past 30 years, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility he's the starter by the end of the year. But to say he's going to be week 1 starter might be a big ask for a true freshman. But he, like you said, he might come into fall ball, just tear it up, and provide something that the other quarterbacks don't with his mobility and his playmaking ability, that they might do something similar that Michigan did last year, and start a true freshman just because of that playmaking ability and the game-changing ability that we haven't really had at a quarterback position. Because the last couple quarterbacks we've had have been pocket passers. Justin Fields was really athletic, but he didn't run as much as he's been running in the NFL. He was more of a pocket passer. And Dwayne Haskins, pocket passer. So, we might see something different with where they decide to go with offense. We have a new offensive coordinator to also, consider that Brian Hartline might want something different in quarterback.
Exactly.
And so I think he's got a shot. I don't think he's going to be a week 1 starter, but you never know, especially when this team has so much potential and you want to maximize it. So.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, that's a really good point. It'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. I think, like we both agree, Kyle McCord's the favorite in the clubhouse, as he should be. He has been available, and right now, Devin Brown's biggest issue is we don't have anything on him. Tristan Gabbia does not factor into this. Lincoln Kienholz might once he gets to Columbus, but we'll see what happens, and then we might be having this whole conversation all over again in 2024. with Aaron Nolan coming in. It's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds. But as we're wrapping things up, guys, thank you for tuning into the first episode. Like I said, this is gonna be a multi-part series. We're gonna preview an Ohio State position group here, probably every other week leading up to the season. We don't want to do it every week because then the series ends pretty quick. But every other week is when we're looking to upload new episode for you guys. So this was the Ohio State quarterback room. Next, we're going to do running backs. There's a lot to talk about there as well. Yeah. So I know I'm pumped about that. JD, I know you are too. But guys, be sure, drop a like on today's video. Subscribe to Network 216 if you are brand new to the content we create. We will talk to you all again soon. And go Buckeyes.